Sounds good, man. So what you been up to? It's been a while.
I know, man. Been touring the world.
You have, dude. I'm so
All over the
proud,
place.
man. So proud of you. It's crazy to think. I was thinking the other day, I said, man, me and Jake, we go way back like bucket seats. Like it's been back in 2014, I believe, when...
Dude, that's when I started with him in November of 2014.
Yeah. That's crazy. Such a long time ago. That's when I'd first started Behind the Kit podcast. And I think I'd found you on Twitter at that time. And I was just looking for working drummers in Nashville. And I think you were like myself. Like we weren't with any kind of big artist or anything. And we were just trying to make a living from playing drums and music.
Oh, yeah. Shoot, still am.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Now, the thing I thought about the other day, I was like, man, I can remember you telling me a story about you playing cajon for someone for a restaurant or something like that at the time.
Yeah, I played cajon for like one artist here and there for writers' rounds, but I'd also, I would play at this one bar every Tuesday for like 12 different people, 2 songs apiece.
Yeah.
And I did that a lot.
And now you're playing for like thousands and thousands of people.
Oh, dude, yeah. One weekend, like on our tour, is over 100,000 people.
Oh my God.
Like in our first stadium tour in 23, we played for over 1 million people, and the same thing in 24.
That's crazy, dude.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, just like this past year, he was the first ever country artist to do a headline tour in New Zealand, Australia. And we did stadiums where we did 2 nights apiece. And just within those, I would say 4 stadiums. 8 stadiums, 4 stadiums, 8 shows. I would say probably a little over 400,000 people.
Man.
Maybe close to 5.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's nuts.
How does it feel, man? Since working your way up from the bottom, it's got to be a wild ride.
It's awesome, man. I mean, you know, it's funny. Like aside from just like, you know, it's riding the wave from a 15-passenger van to flying private to going around the world twice to going to Australia 4 or 5 different times, New Zealand twice. It's a really cool experience. You know, most people ever maybe get to Australia or New Zealand once, but to go to New Zealand twice and Australia 4 or 5 times is truly remarkable. And like last year, I think we were in 16 different countries,
God.
which is insane. You know, and then also like on the business side of things, when it comes to companies, like, you know, I was with One Stick Company. I left them not for anything bad, just like I found a stick from another company that I love more, and I was already with Evans, so obviously I switched to ProMark. And then, you know, I was with another drum company for 4 years that I loved, and I didn't want to leave. But, you know, obviously things happen. You still have a great relationship there. But, you know, through the owner of Drum Paradise, he got me with Craviotto, and I've been with them now for almost 3 years.
Yeah, I saw that move, man. I remember when you got the Yamaha endorsement, and I think that was like 2018 maybe.
Yeah, that was October 2018.
Yeah,
I
remember seeing that
overseas.
and I said, oh man, that is like the nicest recording custom kit ever.
It's really, dude, it's right here.
Still got it.
And that, I don't know if you ever saw that video of, it's from the 2022 tour. He took that floor tom and threw it, like he was beating the crap out of my China cymbal. He threw that cymbal kind of over, and then he threw that floor tom over, which I didn't know. He always did the China.
Yeah.
And the floor tom's right there, and everyone's like freaking out, like, oh, like, why would he do that, blah, blah, blah. Like, his show doesn't, you know, involve that, and it's like, the drum's fine. And one of the comments was like, oh, he probably buys the drummer like a new drum set every show or whatever. And it's like, no, like, these are my drums. I bought them. They're, you know, still in perfect condition. And the last show of the tour, he was like, hey, I'm going to try to put a hole in your front kick drum. I'm going to take my mic stand and try to shove it through.
Oh, wow.
And he tried, and it didn't break. And on this head that's still on the kick drum now, you can feel the indent.
Yeah.
And that drum was hitting me in the knee while I was kicking it, while he was doing his force of the other side. And I'm like, when is this part going to be over? Thankfully, it was like the last song. But I was like, God dang it. Just, ugh. But yeah, no, I still have that kit. I'm never parting with that, obviously. And it's cool to have like some stuff like I'm sure there's so many people who I've got the only from the Beer Never Broke My Heart tour. I've got that kick drum head. It's one of one. I've got like literally the first ever Luke Combs 3 of those kick drum heads.
Is that the one with the skull and the beard?
That's been this last couple of years. That was last year and this year.
Okay.
And heck, I don't know if it's gonna be for next year as well, but I've got one that just says his name, like a white one from like when I was when I was playing DW for a little bit, not officially, but got that one. And I got another one on the wall that had a smaller DW logo, and like it had the North Carolina outline, and we used that on the Don't Tempt Me with a Good Time tour. So, got the first beginnings of those and all that stuff, and then it's cool, man. Like selling out Red Rocks on Mother's Day in 2019. My family came. They gave each of us a little award and all that stuff with our names on it, and then like last year doing a clinic at PASIC, being in Drum Set Magazine, having your name on there and a whole spread, which is really cool. So,
that's a great feeling, man, I'm sure.
Yeah, man. And then, you start getting jerseys with your name on the back from all these stadiums. Not every stadium gave us jerseys, but a lot did. And I've got a bunch in my one of my guest room closets with just a bunch of jerseys with my name on it. And my last name on it. So.
That is great, man. And I just saw, too, where, let's see, I've got this in my notes up here. So I think you posted something on your story today saying that that Luke he's officially the highest RIAA, Certified Country Artist in history, with 168 million units sold. Is that correct?
Yeah, that happened yesterday.
That's crazy.
Which is really wild. I mean, he surpassed Garth Brooks. So it's like, hey.
That's a big deal.
It's huge. What's better than that? And it's only going to, keep going.
Yeah, man. You've really worked. You've worked hard over the years, man, and it's it's great to see. It's great to see everything come to fruition the way it has.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it's definitely a dream come true. There's nothing else I'd want to be doing. There's also nothing else I don't know if I would be wanting to do anyway.
Yeah.
So I never had a plan B or whatever, and my parents were always like, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna go to school for music, and then did that, and then you moved here and all that stuff. So. Now I got freaking sticks in my face on it that I didn't even ask for. My friend, who's the manager of the ProMark factory, made a bunch of pairs for me for fun. They haven't rolled out. They're going to be doing eventually, and I probably can't say it in the podcast, but I'll tell you after the fact.
Okay, yeah, that sounds.
But let's
cool.
just say I have sticks. The stick I use in my face all over it.
I'd like to see that.
Here, wait. I'll show you this pair right here because I gave my folks one. I gave the owner of, no. I gave somebody else one, but it's probably hard to see. Here, I'll do one stick. So like, I don't know if you can see it through the phone.
Oh yeah. That's really cool.
Like here's a funny one. Let me see if I can.
You got one with your shirt off too.
Yeah. Just like some. I used them at a production rehearsal, and they're great. They just like get a little slick. So it's still the same stick I use, which is the 747B forward balance. But yeah, I'd have to have stick wrap on it, and then I also can't throw them out yet because they're not released.
Yeah, is there a date for that when they'll be released, or?
I mean, it's not going to be like my signature, like, oh, you can get this stick with my face all over it. But they made me a bunch. Funny enough, I was waiting for my regular stick with my name on it. So my buddy made me like 24 pairs, and it's in my text workbox case, but I can't even use them yet. But once I can, I might have to utilize some stick wrap so my hands don't get all sticky. Or not sticky, they don't start slipping.
Yeah. So I've been an endorsee with Los Cabos since
I've heard of them, yeah.
2016, I believe. And I don't know if it's the same way with you. Like you have to order at least like 24 to 26 pairs at a time. Is that the same kind of thing that you have?
If your name's on it?
Yeah.
With ProMark, it's 72 pairs.
Oh, wow.
So I still have a bunch. Like I got this order. I think I placed the order in March. I got it in May, and we only have a total of from the beginning of the year to now, 24 shows for the year.
Yeah.
So I still have plenty in a box at home, and I will definitely be ordering another 72 for the tour next year, because the rig that you've seen on my Instagram and stuff, that's going to become my B rig. So all that's going to be shipped over to Europe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and just live there.
That's wild. So you don't have to worry about like using someone else's gear. Everything is yours.
Everything's mine.
That's perfect.
So I treated myself to an early birthday gift back early in the summer to another Craviotto kit. It's an ash kit with maple inlay, 45-degree edges, and so that's now set up behind me in my studio. And then the tour is getting us all new rigs for next year. So my new Craviotto kit should be done being built hopefully end of this month or beginning of next month.
Yeah, and man, that was a really cool move going with those guys as well. That's a beautiful kit, and everything being like pretty much handmade as well, right?
Oh, everything's handmade. Yeah, I mean, everything's cut handmade. Everything, like the wood is cut, by hand pretty much.
Steam bent shells.
Some machines are used obviously for drilling, but like it's still hand done. And yeah, everything's steam bent. Everything's one solid shell. So it's cool. I'm very grateful to be with them, and definitely a really cool feeling when you look through Modern Drummer back in the day and see just like their snare drums and be like, oh, like these look so beautiful. I'd love to have one. And now it's like, now I have 4 of their snares at my house. I have officially myself owning. I have 2 kits.
Yeah.
And then as I said, the tour is getting, so I have technically 3 kits from them.
What's the snare drum that you're playing now that's not Craviotto?
It's a Kooten Custom Snares.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
So he makes metal snares. He makes a couple different ones. He's discontinuing one for a little bit, which is my current side snare. It's his alloy Inconel, and it's made of a bunch of different metals. I wish I could tell you more about that one. It sounds amazing. I actually use it with the snares off for the song One Number Away.
Yeah. In
the pre-chorus, but it does sound great. My main snare currently is a custom T6 aluminum, and my backup is just a regular finished T6 aluminum, and then what I used at the Music City Drum Show and for PASIC last year is my custom 1-of-1 nickel iron snare.
Oh, wow.
Which is currently at my house. That'll be my main snare for next year. So it's 2/3 red with nickel iron finishing off the rest of the drum. It's going to match my red inlay for the Craviotto kit.
Oh, that'll look really good.
Oh, yeah. And then I should be receiving in, I would say, a week or two, my backup nickel iron that's also custom 1-of-1. And everything of mine he sends with a trick throw off because he knows I like that.
Yeah.
An Evans UV2 head and a gold badge.
Oh, man. Yeah, I would love to see some pictures of this.
Oh, yeah. And then my side snare next year, he gave me a 8x14 stainless steel that he made with rondinette. So that'll be my side snare for the main next year. So I'll have all of his snares, some overseas and the rest here. And then he's generously enough sending me a 5.5x14. He's making these new beaded snares, so he's sending me one for the house.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Because he was telling me about it for a while, and he's like, dude, I'm sending you one for home. Because he was like, you won't have any of my snares at home, and I know you need one. I was like, yeah.
That's right. Man, I can remember back to seeing you in 2018 at the Boathouse in Myrtle Beach, and I think you were running the Acrolite at the time, maybe.
Was it before October?
Yes, this would have been like sometime in April. It would have been like in the spring.
I was probably using I was definitely using a DW kit, which I still have.
Yeah.
I don't remember what snare I was using then. I was trying a bunch of different ones back then. I was trying I have a 5.5 by 14 that came with the kit. I've got I think I was trying this one at the time. It's a Cherry 6.5 by 14 DW snare. I might have tried this 5.5 by 14. That was my first DW I got, and it's a VLT. I went through a couple of different snare phases back then, but now I've got a bunch of different metal snares, a bunch of wood ones at home, and I still have my Yamaha Recording Custom Brass. I was using that from when I got my deal in 2018 till that was my snare for 4 years.
Yeah.
And now I have it set up at my kit at home just to mess with different snares, and I treated myself at the Music City Drum Show. Have you heard of this company called K-Watt Snares?
I have not.
His name's Kevin Watt, based in California, and I was liking a lot of his stuff on Facebook, and we were chatting at the show, and he pulled me aside to check out some snares and whatnot. We were chatting, and I saw this 15 by 4 cast brass snare, and I was like, I don't have one of these at home. You were talking whatever, and so he said he only brought 2 to the show. So I was like, hey, obviously asked him what the price was. He was very generous with me, and I bought it the next day.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And it being cast is pretty thick.
Yeah, for a 15 by 4. It sounds killer, though.
That's crazy. 15. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 15 by 4.
The only 15 that I ever see now is Bayer. Bayer custom drums.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Or Bayer.
Yeah.
Man, he's got some 15s that are really nice. It's a very uncommon size these days. I know back in when I was in middle school, I could remember seeing a few marching snare drums that were 15s.
They're cool. They're really cool, and it sounds really good. I'm just talking to my buddy Dave from Evans, and I don't know if you saw, but they're coming out with a new drum key.
No,
It's coming out tomorrow, so thankfully this is probably not coming out. This podcast is not coming out for a bit. So, he was calling me. He's like, hey, dude, is your address still the same? I was like, yeah. So he's sending me one yet this morning before he called me. I just bought 3 of them.
Yeah. So when will this release? When will the drum key be out? Tomorrow?
Yeah, they're starting to come shipping out tomorrow.
So will I be good to release this tomorrow, or do I need to wait?
I don't know if it's on any of their profiles. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
So I guess maybe wait a couple of days just in case.
We can do that.
But he was like, hey, dude, I'm going to send you one. I was like, I just ordered 3. He's like, well, now you have 4. And I was like, hey, can you actually send me a snare head for this 15 by 4 snare? He was like, yeah, I'll send you a bottom one as well. I was like, okay, that works.
That's perfect. And I'm guessing it's pretty hard to find those
pieces.
15s too, right?
They got them. I just, I like to know his preference, or, the head of the factory's preference and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's a fun snare to play. It is definitely an interesting size, because when you hit your rim shots and stuff, one of the screws is kind of sometimes in the way because of how big of the rim it is.
Yeah. That's great.
It's fun. It sounds great.
Yeah, I've recently been looking around. I've been curious about 15s. I bought a PDP classic maple kit, and I'm running a 26-inch kick, a 13 rack, and then a 14 and a 16 floor. And I'm thinking man, I might want to throw a 15 in there, But
that'd be interesting.
We'll see. I got to look around. Got to shop around some.
Yeah, I'm running now 13, 16, 18. They'll be the same size for next year. And then my kick, since I went to Craviotto, has been a 22 by 14.
Okay.
So my kit at home, the one I treated myself to, is 13, 16, 22, 14. The walnut kit on the road is 13, 16, 22. And then the maple kit is going to be 13, 16, 22. Because I just want everything to be at least for the kits on the road, carbon copy.
Yeah.
Same cymbals, all that stuff too. Same DW hardware and pedals.
Yeah, changing that kick size, especially the depth of it, man, it changes the whole feel of the rebound from the pedal, depending on how much air you're having to move. So your kick, you're saying, is like definitely more shallow.
Yeah, it's the perfect of punch and attack. Because my Yamaha was 2414, and it's cool, but this 2214 sounds great.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I want to get into. Let's talk briefly about your stint with Drumeo, and then I'd like to get into talking about doing charting, like doing some charts and stuff, and helping the listeners learn how to chart music. But going back to your Drumeo stint, man, how did that come to be?
I had Brandon and his now wife at our show in Vancouver in 23. And when we were there, I obviously got them like all access passes. I wanted to take care of him and all that stuff. And, I don't think guys always do that. And I was like, okay, like, he's a guest. He's someone important in the drumming world. I want to make sure he's taken care of. And I think he was able to get catering as well. We sat for dinner, and when we were walking around showing him around, he's like, hey, like, we want to have you on Drumeo.
Oh, wow.
When are you free? And I was like, oh, I'm free in September. So they flew me up. Actually, Ron Danette picked me up from the airport. We got dinner. He showed me his shop, and then he drove me to the hotel. Someone from Drumeo picked me up in the morning. We did 2 days of, videos, like educational stuff and the playthroughs and all that stuff, which was a lot of fun. Did some other, other stuff for them as well. Hopefully some of that's coming out soon, because the first video's been out for over a year now, that Gojira video.
Yeah. I
did some other like play along stuff with them, and it was a lot of fun. It was a really good time, and so it was, a cool experience. Very honored to do it, because they had the last country guy I think they had was like Rich 8 years prior, and they don't have a lot of country guys.
Yeah. Now, when you were there, like, was it a full day of recording, like for the lessons and stuff that they're gonna do, or?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of actually came in, so they gave me my segment like a week out, and it was strengthening your weaker side, and I studied with Dom Famulero since I was 15.
Yeah.
But I've always played open-handed, and people were like, "Oh, did you get that from Dom?" And I was like, "No, I did that before Dom." So when you do Drumeo, they're very generous, and they give you a free subscription for life.
Oh, cool.
So, or at least I hope it's for life. And so I went on their page to see what other guys have done educational wise, and I know obviously Dom's been there I think a couple of times, and he was doing his book The Weaker Side. So I was like, okay, like, I don't want to do anything that copies his or overlaps with him. So I wrote out 3 pages of different exercises, and I just did that, from like doing a bossa nova or a samba, playing with both hands, doing a groove with both hands, all that stuff. Just things you can do with both sides.
Yeah.
Easy grooves, because it's for their, beginners.
Yeah. I remember the first ambidextrous playing that I could remember. I was a huge fan, or still am a huge fan, of Morgan Rose from Seven Dust.
Yeah, I saw them when they came here, and I met them briefly after.
I don't know if you've ever noticed him, like when he's playing some of his hi-hat patterns, he's switching back and forth between the right and left, playing open-handed to cross-handed. So when I saw your Drumeo episode, that's what it reminded me of.
That's cool.
Yeah, he rips, man. He's a really good drummer.
He's insane. He is really good.
That is awesome. The whole ambidextrous thing. I've been watching some of your videos recently about you talking about that, and it's just something that just kind of came to be, right? Just something that felt natural.
Yeah, I mean, when I sat down at the kit when I was a kid, my arms just fell how they did, and it's weird because I golf righty. Like, I throw a baseball lefty, but I bat righty.
Oh man, you're so backwards, right?
I right lefty. But, like, I can pick up a water glass or a glass with either hand. I open the fridge with either hand. People are like, oh, why don't you ride on your right side? And I was like, well, if I did that, on my left side. And if I did that, I'd have a huge hole in the middle of, like, nothing over my kick drum. And I've just always had the ride there.
Yeah.
And, I still mess with the height and all that stuff. And I think I'm kind of done with messing with the height, where it's like, I used to have it lower, and now I have it at the perfect angle and, like, height where my shoulder doesn't have to come up or down, just stays just using the wrist.
Yeah. And with that,
ergonomics is huge.
With that, do you have everything marked, your heights and all that on the stands?
Oh yeah, we've got. Trying to think. We had a backline kit for this past festival Sunday, and my tech just set everything up pretty much like how I have the kit on the road anyway. I mean, he's been doing it now for, this is his second full year, and he's got it dialed in. I just changed a few little things.
Yeah.
And then in my actual kit, we've got markings, like these Velcro markings, like that already come with like, HH, kick, and then like numbers 1 through, say we have 1 through 9, and like every stand's labeled like 1, 2, 3, 4. So like all the legs go where they need to go and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The last 2 tours, we had all my hardware. It was able to be bicycle chained onto the riser. So everything hardware-wise rode on the riser. The only thing my tech took off were the drums and the cymbals. So everything stayed put. So it's the same every single night.
That's great. Yeah, that's got to be super easy there.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a 5x6 rug where I've just got tape marked, for every leg of stands or my kick drum or floor tom, snare drum stands, all that. And it definitely makes it a lot easier whenever you're doing these gigs. But man, to have that stuff already there and just toss the kit.
Yeah, I don't know what next year is going to be like, but find out.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, let's talk about chart writing.
Yeah.
We actually got to see some of that on Drumeo with you charting out the songs. And it's something that you and I both do. I do for my students on a weekly basis right now. And I also have a full-time gig where I play at a church every Sunday. And about every week we have new songs. And I've just learned throughout the years how to chart, how to write drum notation, read, write. So if you could share a little bit of your process with us, and maybe we can go pretty, far in depth with it.
Yeah, of course. So the way I made that chart for the Gojira song on Drumeo is not actually how I chart. That was just because, there were no drums in the track because I made it up myself.
Yeah.
So there I was just, everyone I guess thought it was wise. It was actually 4s because I was just doing like how many sections are per bar. Or sorry, how many bars are in per section. So it's like intro, okay, I was like 4 here, 4 here, 4 here. Okay, verse. Or like what I thought was the verse when the vocals came in. I did the same deal.
Yeah.
Because then I know, okay, there's this many bars in this section. But how I usually chart, so like say the intro's 4 bars. Say the first 3 bars are the same groove. Say it's hi-hat, 8th notes, kick on 1 and 3, snare on 2 and 4.
Okay.
And then the last 4th bar, there's a fill. So I'd write out just the kick and the snare, and I would write it out once. And then I put a repeat marker with the 2 dots. I put a 3X above that bar to know that happens 3 times. And instead of me writing the hi-hat out, unless there's like a hi-hat open or whatever, I write HH equals, and I'll put like the 8th note symbol or equals 8ths.
Oh, okay.
So I'll do that next to it just so I know, okay, like the intro, the hi-hat is 8th notes.
And that cuts time down a little bit where you don't have to write all the hi-hat notes in.
Definitely. Don't. And also you don't have to write everything groove-wise. And if you just write a kick, a snare, a kick, snare, okay, that's 4 beats right there. If that repeats 3 times, write that 1 bar out, do the 2 dots at the end, 2 dots in the beginning, a 3X above it so you know. Okay, that happens 3 times. On the 4th bar, if it's kick, snare, and then a fill of 3 and a 4 enda, I'll write that out.
Yeah.
And if it's 3 enda on the snare, 4 enda going between the toms, I write that all out. And then I do a double line to for myself to be like, okay, this section's over. Underneath I write V1. I do a little dash and then continue on. So say it's like crash on the 1. I put a little triangle above the kick drum note so I know it's a crash. Like I have my own key for everything.
Yeah.
So like for like a tambourine, it's a dot with a circle around it. For a side stick, it's like the same slash as a snare drum would be, but with a circle around it. A ride would be like the same triangle, but with a circle around it. For this new song, Back in the Saddle, that I charted out, there's a clap stack, so I put the same symbol as side stick, but I wrote CS instead, so I know like clap stack above it. So I know while practicing it, okay, this is a clap stack.
Yeah. Even
though I don't have a clap stack at home, I know when I play along to it enough, okay, that would be a clap stack.
Yeah.
It's little things, but it's like I always write all the fills out. I've been changing. Sorry, been changing it up with like if the groove is the same, if it repeats. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll do like if it's kick snare, kick snare, that repeats. Say 2 more times after, I'll just write that one bar out. I'll do like a line, and I'll write a 2, and then another line. So like instead of me writing like a 3x, even though that's faster now, I've been doing that more often.
So 2 measure repeat.
I used to do like a 2, yeah. But now I'll just do like if something repeats 3 or 4 times, or honestly, I'm doing this breast cancer tribute show Monday for Aerosmith, or it's an Aerosmith tribute. I'm doing Janie's Got a Gun, and there's a lot of like. There's a groove that there's a phrase that repeats, say 5 or 6 times. I write the phrase out once. I put like a 5x or a 6x over it, and I'm good to go.
Yeah. That's great.
It just makes it a lot easier. Actually, I have it right here. I could show you. I don't know if you can really see that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see that just fine.
So.
Okay.
And if you see a dog in the background, if my dog decides to come in here, Salem, come here.
Yeah, we'll have to check the pup out.
She's afraid of the room. Huh?
I said, yeah, we'll have to check the pup out.
So she comes in here. She's a little skittish.
Yeah.
Salem, come. Hope she's not eating like the crown molded.
So the thing with chart writing, I guess, like for you and I, we have experience with reading and writing music and drum notation. For someone who doesn't know how to write drum notation, like what kind of advice or tips? How would you go about writing charts like that?
Man, I think it's so important. I think just reading music in general is really beneficial, and I tell students this all the time. Like I just taught a student I think it was like last week, and he brought a whole book of charts that he's charted out. But it's not music notation. It's like kick, snare, hi-hat, intro. And it says for how many bars. It's not the exact thing.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I was like, man, these are good. But I said, say you're playing for an artist and they have 30 plus songs that they've recorded over time, and you chart out all of them. You want to be able to chart out like how I chart or how you chart, and obviously save them. I told them I save everything on my iPad in this app called Genius Scan, and I do each like record. I save it like that, so I have all the songs by record.
Yeah.
And I told them when we were in Australia, 2 different shows this past year, per show of these 2, a fan held up a sign saying, play this song. These were 2 songs we haven't played in a while, and I didn't have a chart on me for it, but I wish I did. We got through them, but it's like that's when it's good to have your charts on an iPad, have your iPad charged up, and have it at least in the vicinity of your drums. So if that does happen, you could quickly open it up, throw it on your side snare, and at least have a guide. Maybe not read the chart, like head in the chart, but at least know where you're at.
Yeah.
So I have 2 iPads now, one for like the house that I keep all my charts on, and then my older one that I put all my charts on. And, I put all my charts there. I give it to my tech, and he'll charge it up for me. I haven't needed it, but like, if I need it, okay, I know that like he could bring it out to me if worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But that rarely happens. But also like, it's just good to have, because like say you're playing a show. Well, there's been times where we're sitting in, hanging a couple hours before, and say, the Luke's like, oh, let's do a different song tonight. Like, let's do this one. It's like, okay, cool. Like, we're just gonna add that in the set, right? It's like we haven't played that in a while, so then it's good to have your chart with you and listen to it a couple of times and be able to look at your chart, and then air drum it
Yeah.
beforehand.
I've had to pull audibles like that so many times. Like I said, with the church that I play at, there's been so many times where either we might change a part in a song, or we completely like shift over to a different song, and you got to have those charts ready to be able to get in there and play everything as accurate as you can. So it is a super important skill to have, I believe.
I think every musician, especially drummers, should be able to chart, because do you really want to rely on, you listen to the song, you want to nail it, like you want to be able to play every fill just like how it's played on the record, and the groove too.
Yeah.
So I think that's why charting is so important.
And all of that stems from basic notation knowledge. Like, I think like one of the best things that I teach to all my students, I've got a book that I studied with Pat Petrillo at UNC Pembroke back in the day.
I know Pat.
Yeah, and before he came out with his DVD, How to Learn to Read Rhythms Better, I believe is the name of it, he actually made these binders and gave them to us, and it was like the book before it was published. And that's what I teach out of. And it teaches you how to read notation starting from whole notes on up to 30-second notes, and learning to read rests and dotted notes and syncopation and everything. And then I think, like, if you could get a hold of a book or something like that where you can start to learn how to read notation, and then like practice writing these things out, like just practice writing out the rhythm tree, going through whole notes up to 16th notes and learning how to count. And then also, I had a mental brain fart right here for a second. But being able to listen to simple songs, like let's say you pick out, you're wanting to start charting. Well, why not sit down with like an easy rock song like AC/DC, and we say, all right, we're going to chart out the groove that he plays throughout the verse. Then we're going to go and chart out the groove for the chorus, and just taking like baby steps like that. Do you have any advice on that end about getting started with being able to chart?
I mean, I think what you said is perfect. Like learning how to read simple notation. I think a good book is like Syncopation or Stick Control.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, like listen to AC/DC or even Michael Jackson's Beat It. Like that's not a hard groove to play. And the beauty of that app Moises is if you own this material and you buy it, you could put it into that app and slow it down and really dissect it.
Oh, okay. See, I'm old school. I don't have anything on an iPad like that, which I need to, but all of mine are in notebooks that I keep in a book bag with me. And when I need to pull something up, I just skim through it, find the song, and roll with it. But tell us that app.
The cool thing is, yeah, Moises, so it's like basically a great practice app. So say you get a song or you need to learn a song and you can't figure out a fill.
Yeah.
You can, if you buy the song, you obviously get the app, and then you can import the song into the app. You can pull out the guitars, you can pull out the vocal, or keep the vocal in as a guide, and you could have the drums hotter than the vocal. You can make them louder or softer. You could slow down the tempo of the song as slow as you want to go to figure out a fill or figure out a groove or whatever's going on.
That's great.
And then when you memorize the drum part, you put everything back in. You could play to it with a metronome. You could pull the drums out, and you're playing it like you would live.
That's perfect, man. And how much is
cool
that app?
There's a free version, and then I think I have like the pro membership, which is like $5 a month.
Oh, okay. So not much at all.
No.
I think that's about how much I pay for my podcast hosting right now. Just like $5.
Yeah, I think our bass player and I have partnered with them before because we use it for our clinics.
That's really cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch over to that, and
it is neat. It's a really good app to use. So thank you, Moises, for coming out with such a cool app.
Oh yeah, big shout out. Well, man, I want to get into talking about things coming full circle. I know I've heard you speak of that before, And it's just really cool how things happen. I've had it recently happen to myself where this gig that I play, I'm full-time at this church on Sundays, and I pass by a music store in Wilmington, North Carolina, that is now a music and art store, but it used to be a McFadden Music. I don't know if you ever remember McFadden Music. It was real big on the East Coast side over here, like around in North Carolina.
So.
But there.
I know music and arts, though. We've done a clinic there.
Yeah. Well, it is a music and arts now, but back in, 1996, I was 14. I'd been playing snare drum forever as a kid. And then my mom picked me up, and it was my birthday. And she was like, I think we're finally going to take you to go get your first drum set. So anyway, I'd got my first kit from this music store. And now every Sunday, I wake up at 4 a.m. to get ready. And I drive an hour to my gig. And I pass this music store every Sunday. And I just think about, like, man, that's where I got my first kit. And that's where it all started from. And now, like, my whole life is I'm making a living from playing music and drums. And it's just all just kind of come full circle with everything. Just really cool to think back on it.
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, yeah, I couldn't agree more. Whereas, like, I remember getting my first kit at 6 years old and just taking to it. And then I started taking lessons at, like, 6, 7 years old and just continued on. And I knew at 15 I wanted to do this professionally. And I stopped playing video games cold turkey. And I was already playing drums right after school. Like, I'd throw my book bag in the house, go play drums for 5 hours a day, sometimes 6. Yeah. And then, like, when I told my folks, like, hey, I want to do this professionally, I knew at 15. I just stopped playing video games. Like, they didn't say, hey, stop playing video games. It was just something I did. And my mom was like, well, if you want to do this professionally, you're going to go to school for music. So I only applied to 4 colleges. One was actually in North Carolina. But I went to college in Philly at University of the Arts, had an amazing experience there, studied with incredible teachers such as Mark DiGianni, who at the time was the head of the music department, who I'm still very close with, studied with Jerry Brown, if you know who he is.
I've heard that name before.
Drummer for Stevie Wonder, you know, a plethora of other people, been with Diana Ross for 20-something years. Still a very good friend of mine, Jimmy Paxson, who was with Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham, Charlie Musselwhite, the Chicks. He's now with Keith Urban. He and I were just texting yesterday because we're long overdue to catch up now that he lives here. And then back in New York, aside from studying with Dom Famularo, I studied with his protege, John Favicchia, who now lives, you know, like 20, 25 minutes from my folks in Florida. So I see him whenever I'm down there, when I can make it down. And, you know, just fortunate to have some amazing teachers. And then when I moved here, I took a couple lessons with, like, Jim Riley. I've had really cool mentors. So
yeah, and talking about the full circle moments, I think I'd heard on a podcast before about you talking about playing Madison Square Garden, right? And it was kind of like an awakening kind of thing that you had.
So one of my, I would say, mentors here, who I'm still very, very close with, and we just, you know, chat when we can and see each other when we can, Rich Redmond.
Yeah.
I met him in 2013 at NAMM. He knew my former teacher, John. He knows Dom, too. And when I moved to town, he was like, hey, have him give me a call. So I called him, and we were on the phone for like an hour and a half. Took us a couple months to get coffee. But when we did, he was like, hey, like, do you know how to run tracks? I said, unfortunately not. That's something they didn't teach us in college. He said, man, if you did, I'd have a great gig for you. And I'm like, oh, well, you know. But thankfully it's funny because now, since being with Luke for going on 11 years, we've never ran tracks.
Oh, wow.
I've only run a click, and now my tech's been running a click for a couple of years. And where was I going with this? Okay, so MSG. So my first time playing MSG, we were direct support on the Jason Aldean tour. So that was my first time doing it. We did one night, and then the second time we did 2 nights back to back on our own tour. I believe it was on the What You See Is What You Get tour. We did 360 in the round at MSG, which was really cool. And then last year we did 2 nights at MetLife Stadium, because that's the closest, like, football, obviously, New York. But yeah, MSG was truly a full circle moment. And the crazy thing is, growing up, I always used to go to Knick games. I never seen a concert there until I actually played one in 2018. Oh, here's the dog. Hey.
Oh, yeah. Great Dane?
Yep. Yeah, she'll be 3 on Halloween.
Oh, man. My buddy's son was born on Halloween, so happy birthday.
What are they dressing him up as?
Oh, man. Did you ever think, like, when you were sitting on that cajon playing back in the day, did you ever think you'd be where you are today? Did you ever have dreams, like, while you were playing,
oh, definitely
zone out,
dreams.
you know?
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, I definitely think, like, you got to put yourself in the situations you want to be in, right?
Yeah.
You got to go out there. It's all about networking. You know, like, I was playing cajon for a bunch of people. You know, I started playing downtown when I first moved here. I got a somewhat Salem, okay touring gig, 5 months in the town. And then, I met him at a writer's round. I didn't know anyone there. I walked in, timing and luck. I caught his last song during the 3, songs he sang. And I went up and talked to him, and I just said, hey, man, I loved your voice and I loved your song. And, he's like, thanks. What do you do? And I told him I went to school for it. And he said, I need a drummer for a gig next week. Do you want to play? And I said, yeah, I'd love to. Please send me your, songs. I did my homework. I practiced from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., charted everything out, was the first one to the rehearsal 30 minutes early with all my stuff set up. I was ready to go. I showed like, hey, I'm prepared. I got this, let's go. And I think when it comes to rehearsal, and I would say it was / my audition, if you can't get through the first 2 songs, they know, okay, this guy's not prepared. But, man, I had everything ready.
Yeah.
Everything.
That's the thing, man, is you've got to treat everything as professional as possible. And you got to be on your P's and Q's. And people,
be a good hang.
People know that, man. And if you've got to be humble. And you've also got to be a positive, like, driving force for the band. You've got to, encourage other people in moments. I always think of, your band is like your team. And you've got to be there to build each other up on top of not only knowing your material. So you have so many hats to wear, and to be able to keep things moving like that and be positive. The drummer really is, man, the heart of the band, and that driving force that can keep it all glued together. Oh,
definitely. I mean, like, everyone follows us.
That's right.
If we push, they push. If we pull back, obviously you need to know when to put the snare a couple milliseconds behind or a couple ahead, but or just be dead on the click.
Yeah.
So.
You spoke of Rich earlier, man. Rich has been like such a big ambassador for like every drummer moving into town, just about it, right?
Yeah, for the most part. It's funny. I get hit up now by a lot of young drummers who move to town, and like, hey, man, like, when you're free, we'd love to get coffee and pick your brain.
Yeah. Yeah, I can remember that. Rich came to my college in 2009, and I had no clue who he was until he came in. Jason Aldean was playing at the Fayetteville Coliseum, and our percussion director got Rich to come in and do a clinic at UNCP, and that's where I'd first met him at. And then later down the road, 3 or 4 years, is whenever I started Behind the Kit podcast, and I just seen Rich on social media here and there, would speak to him, and I just hit him up and I was like, hey, I'm starting this podcast. I don't have anybody following it or anything. I was like, would you be willing to be my first person on the show? He's like, man, let's get it set up. Let's make it happen. So that was kind of like my foot into being able to, I guess, meet a lot of Nashville drummers and a lot of people like yourself out there. So Rich definitely helped me out big time, but I just kind of wanted to, throw that in there and say thank you to Rich Redmond, because I don't know if, some of the things I've had happen would have happened if it wouldn't have been for, being able to meet him and people like yourself, just being generous enough, man, to give that free moment to say, hey, It's not going to cost anything. Let's just chill out and talk. And if I can help, I can help, right?
No, totally. I think that's part of the industry in some way, is helping friends out when you can. Obviously, it's not giving, like, feeding them the silver spoon, but it's like if you can give friends advice of how to go about it the right way, and even if you do, it's like, it's still life. They still have to do their due diligence of getting out there and playing and networking and all that stuff. It's like, yes, this industry is very much about networking and who you know and who knows you.
Yeah.
Because I've had people be like, hey man, can you throw my name in the hat for a gig if it comes available? Or, buddies of mine who played on big gigs.
Yeah. And
it's like, I can, but if you don't live here, they want someone who lives here.
Yeah.
And I also, those gigs are usually filled by the time I hear about it anyway. But even coming up, it's like, find your group of people.
Yeah.
And play. People got to see you play. But also, I'd say now it's 60-40. Be a good hang. People expect that you can play now.
That's the big thing.
And
there's so much talent there.
It's playing the parts. It's playing the parts. No one cares that you can chop it up. Yeah, if you do a drum solo, make it musical, but make it part of the song.
Yeah.
Like, don't just chop it up to chop it up. And, the fans like fast, or they like something that's musical, not like 30-second notes over all these drums.
Yeah.
For, they'll be like, what was that? If they don't get it, it's not anything that's so exciting for them, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to think about the bigger picture and think about the song as a whole unit for everyone, and it not being, it's not the Jake Sommers show, right?
No.
And I don't think you want it to be that way either.
Time.
Huh? I said, and I don't think you want it to be that way either. I can tell by watching and listening to you play, like, you really do serve the song. So I would say,
that's what it's about. Who wants to solo for 6 minutes? Who wants to solo for 3 minutes? I'm cool with like a minute or two, but I don't even solo for that long. I get 8 bars.
8 bars.
And that's fine by me. Yep.
That's enough, right?
Yeah. I'd much rather hold it down. You got to think, what pays the bills?
Yeah.
Feel and time.
That's right.
Groove. If you think, is it grooving? If you have to ask yourself, is this grooving? Then it's not grooving.
Yeah.
Or it's not grooving hard enough.
Yeah. That's right. You got to make it feel good, man. You got to make people want to dance. People want to bob their head, tap their foot.
Yep. Oh, big time. Big time.
Yeah. Well, Jake, what about advice for up-and-coming drummers or people who are already working right now, man, that are trying to make it to the next level and trying to find their sound and trying to figure out, what's the next step? What kind of advice would you give to people today?
I would say, and this is a big thing I know we didn't really touch on too much, endorsements. Don't seek them. Play what you love, and it'll happen when it happens. First off, if you're not playing with anybody, don't reach out to a company trying to get endorsed. If you're playing with someone and you're doing 150 dates a year and you're going to be opening up on a tour, like an arena tour or something like that, then maybe reach out, but also like Instagram is the business card now.
Yeah.
And tag them. Whenever you play, tag them. Take a picture of your setup, do a video, do a GoPro video, tag them. Show that you're playing their product. Don't just switch to try to get a different deal with somebody. Play what you love. I learned that from Dom. And yeah, it's a business. I switched twice for business reasons. It wasn't like I didn't love the product. I did. But, I switched to 2 for 2 reasons that made logistically more sense. But don't just go from one to another to another to another. No one likes, we can call it a company jumper.
Yeah.
And because these companies want loyalty. And, the point of an endorsement is you are playing the product because you love it, but you're also playing it to help, hopefully, sell whatever the product may be. and they're endorsing you for that reason. Not just that reason, because you love the product, but like, you know, you're helping them out, they're helping you out.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting a deal on products. And when you get to a certain level, I remember, man, like seeing videos of like these guys I look up to who are Monster Studio guys. And, you know, I'm sure they got products sent to them for free to try out. And I was like, man, I wonder, you know, what it takes to get to that level. And like when the Stratus line came out for Sabian, their social media woman reached out and she's like, hey, like we want to send you a bunch of these to try out, you know, and we want your opinion. They sent me a whole, I got 15-inch Strata hats, 18, 20-inch crashes, and 22-inch ride. And I love all of it. It sounds and plays like butter. And you know what? They play like the Legacy symbol, sort of, and they're their cheapest line. And people are like, oh, why are they so cheap? It's like, who cares how much they cost or don't cost? Do they sound good to your ear? If they do, rock them.
Yeah.
Shit, I would play them on tour. I totally would. But I have what I have, and I love it. And it's not for, oh, they're so expensive. It fits my sound.
Yes. Yep. You got to play what you love. And I used to think of it like this. You would see people who are, you know, all about the endorsements, and the bass drum head looks like a side of a NASCAR. Just people wanting to have so many endorsement deals and all this stuff, and you're just making, you know, Instagram videos at the house and not really out, you know, not really out, not saying that there's anything wrong with people who are just playing at home, but just saying, you know, these companies, they definitely want, you know, they want eyes. They want eyes on you.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this, like my buddy who I was telling you about early on in the podcast, who's sending me that new drum key from Evans and those two 15-inch heads for that snare drum. He's a good friend of mine. He's worked for D'Addario for a couple of years, and our monitor guy in 22, after I saw that second Top Gun movie, I jokingly did the mustache and came into rehearsal with it. He took a photo of me, and then he started making these stickers of my face. They're all around the world, and they were on my underneath my kick drum patch. They're actually on this Yamaha kick one. I think that's about it. But they're all over the world, and my buddy saw it. Oh, you know, it's on a Craviotto one too, but it was a head I threw out afterwards. And my buddy saw it, took a photo because he thought it was so funny. And because he came to Tampa, and then that next weekend was our last weekend in Philly. He goes, hey, man, I got a surprise for you when you get to Philly. I didn't know what it was. I was walking up the steps for sound check or whatever, and they before I think this is a thing with them, they 3D printed that sticker on the kick drum head on my batter side, so it takes up the whole head, and on my snare head as well. So now, you know, people are like, oh, how do you get that? It's like, I just ask and they do it. It's not like I wanted it. I thought it's funny, but now in our locker I have like 8 snare heads with my face on it.
Yeah.
And I wanted, like, I play the UV2, which I love. And I'm good buddies with the manager of the factory as well. And I was like, hey, like, do you guys have anything that's kind of like a Remo Emperor X with a dot on the bottom? He said, they have something like that, but not exactly. He goes, hey, I know you love the UV2. I could print you 10 with your face on it and 5 with a dot and 5 without. And I think they recently came out with the UV1 without a dot, maybe. I don't know if they did the UV2 yet with a dot, but when they start doing it, just know I've had it for over a year now. But you know, so I have 8 snare heads with my face on it, and they're going to make me some more kick heads for the tour next year.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
Because people, dude, I have friends ask me all the time, dude, where can I get a kick head or a snare head with your face on? I'm like, you could only get that through me. And I never asked for that. My buddies did it as a joke, and they love it. Like, they have one on their factory wall with all their kick heads. He sent me a photo. I'll text you after. It's their wall of heads, and there's one of my face.
Yeah, I want to see that.
It was probably like the pre one before sending me them, but it's so funny.
And you said that the picture is after you'd watched Top Gun. So is it like mustache or whatever?
Dude, yeah, it's just a mustache. Yeah, it's funny. I'm like, oh crap. But these stickers are all over the world. The sticker's been to Antarctica.
Oh wow.
I've never been to Antarctica. Like, they're in airports. Like, I've had friends send me a photo. They're on the jet bridge, and they look up, like, on, like, handicap, and my face is on that. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. But yeah, I didn't. The sticker was a funny gag, and now I just don't care anymore. It's just too funny. Even though I'm not getting a cut because they're not actually being sold. But yeah, I mean, like when it comes to endorsements, it's like let it happen when it happens, and play what you love. Don't just switch to play a company that because they're giving you a deal. Well, do you actually like what they? Do you like how they cymbal sound or how the drums sound, or are you just doing it just to have it say you have an endorsement? Because just having an endorsement doesn't mean that you're going to get a gig.
Yeah. Very true, man. Thank you for that advice.
Yeah, of course.
And again, I appreciate you taking the time to do this, man. It's been, let's see, I think the last time that you and I had been around each other or talked was, I think in 2019, I went to watch a Supercross race in Nashville, and that's whenever I met up with you downtown at the time. And we went and hit up a few bars and watched some music. You got up and played, and Corbin,
we didn't get drunk.
Corbin was in there.
Oh yeah, that was fun. That was a good time.
Corbin Cagle. Yep.
I see him from time to time here and there.
Yeah, that's who I'd like to get up with too, man. I need to get him on. I met him through Jason Schmitty. I don't know if
I know him too.
Are you familiar with Jason?
Oh yeah, I've known him. I've known him for a while as well.
Yeah, good dude. That's how I got in touch with Corbin. I'd met him through the podcast, and they had the Myrtle Beach Country Music Festival, and his family.
We did that. That was our first. Wait, Myrtle Beach. I don't know if we've done. I think we've done that before. I can't remember anymore.
Yeah, this would have been.
Oh yeah, we have. It's called like South Carolina something, right?
And it's right on the beach.
That was our first show back in 2021 after COVID.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's a cool place, man. I'm only like 45 minutes down the road from there. That's where I live.
Okay.
And whenever he played there that day, me and my buddy, we came and he gave us passes. We got to hang out on the bus, and I got to meet Corbin. And dude, just a really cool festival that day. A lot of good bands, Big and Rich, and I can't even remember. I think Eric Church was there as well. This would have been like 2015.
Nice.
So, but yeah, it's just cool to be able to meet everybody. And like I said, man, I went on a little vacation and then ended up hitting you up, and you were nice enough to just be like, hey, I'll meet you downtown. Let's go hang.
Oh, yeah, dude. If I'm in town, you're in town, we're hanging.
Definitely. We'll have to make it happen sometime soon, man. I'd love to go back, make another trip at some point.
Let me know.
Your schedule right now, you're basically like touring from Wednesday to Sunday? Is that how it goes?
Like on our tour? I'm not 100% how next year is going to work just yet. Like how we've done it, it's been 2 shows in a row, like last year and the year prior. And we'll either leave late on a Wednesday or fly in Thursday morning, sound check Thursday night, and then play Friday, Saturday, home Sunday.
Okay. That's not too bad, though.
No, I mean, last year I think we did a total of maybe 40 shows for the year. This year we've had only like 24.
Yeah. Well, dude, thank you for your time, Jake. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. Always good to see you, Matt.
If people want to find out more about you, where do they need to go?
Yeah, my website is jakesommers with an O, drums.com. My Instagram is just jakesommers7. Those are the 2 best places to find me. I do teach via Skype. I do teach in person as well at the drum pad. And on my website, you can contact me there, and I just get it straight to my email. Or you can, I guess, DM me on Instagram. Hopefully I see it. Yeah. I have TikTok, but I don't really use it. I hardly post there. So I would just say my website and Instagram.
Cool. I'll put that. I'll put all those links in the show notes too. That way people can find.
Please do. I'd appreciate it. And I also do like sessions from home. I can record for people and all that stuff, and have plenty of snare drums and cymbals to choose from, and plenty of different kits to go from as well.
Yeah, that's something I didn't get to. I wanted to touch on that at some point, but maybe we'll have to have you back again and talk about your home studio setup and about you doing tracks.
Yeah, man, part two. Part two.
That's right. Jake, thank you so much, man. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Of course, Matt. Yeah, man. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's good to catch up and chat after so long.
Definitely. Thank you, buddy.
Of course.
That's it for this episode of the Matt Dudley Drumming Podcast. Jake and I would like to thank each of you for taking the time to listen. And if you would, go check out Jake at jakesommersdrums.com. That is JAKESOMMERS drums.com. And also, to keep up with the podcast, visit mattdudleydrumming.com, where you'll be able to find all the episodes, as well as free lessons and so much more. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to listen. I'm going to try to be putting out at least 1 to 2 episodes on the podcast per week right now. And I've got a lot of cool guests ahead. So you're going to want to definitely tune in to check all these out. But again, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. And until then, I'll see you next time. That was A Walk in the Desert at Night by Gathering Gray. You can find on all streaming platforms. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.